On today's show, Ferrari's newest one-off, weekend auction results, and Polestar's future speed machine. Plus, hot hatches for under 10 grand. I'm Dana Simone, and this is Hagerty's Daily Driver. Buckle up. So if you're the kind of person that asks restaurants for something special, well, this might be the car for you. The Ferrari Omologata. The owner said he wanted a car that was, quote, as at ease on the road as is hitting the apex on the racetrack, which is two things normal Ferraris are terrible at. Well, while it's based on the 812 platform, the two cars only share a windshield and headlights. The Omologata's custom body is made of aluminum and carbon fiber, and underneath that hood is Ferrari's screaming 6.5-liter V12, making 789 horsepower at 8,500 RPM. And the interior? Whew, striking. But there's more to it than just those blue seats. The crackled and hammered looking paint are both nods to Ferrari's race cars from the 60s. And Ferrari's practice of turning their V12 coupes into bespoke chariots of speed began in 2009, when Ferrari made the P540 Superfast Aperta. And it is Monday morning, so that means you are waking up with the crippling dread that comes with every new week in 2020. And it's time to play You Paid What?
You paid what?
Yeah. So first up, one of the longest cars ever made, a 1978 Lincoln Continental MkV. This one's as clean as a Watergate suite with just 4,346 miles on the clock. And speaking of clocks, one of the best parts of getting a late 70s Lincoln is the big old Cartier clock, which is stylish. The interior is the red of fresh ox blood, and the carpet is as plush as your grandma's basement. And it's got a big old V8. This one sold on Hemmings for $23,888.
You paid what?
Yeah. And you'll never find one as clean again. So if that is what you want, it's probably worth it. But let's say you want to honor the 1990 Indy 500 win by Dutch driver Arie Luyendyk. Bring a Trailer has you covered. This extremely turquoise 1990 Chevy Beretta was sold at no reserve and has been perfectly preserved with only 2,700 miles on the clock. It's as if Baywatch and Trapper Keeper had a baby, and that baby came with an entirely digital GM 80s dash. And this Beretta came with GM's 3.1-liter V6 pumping out a walloping 135 horsepower. And you could have had it for $12,000.
You paid what?
So good. For slightly more than clean Beretta money, Polestar is building a competitor to the Tesla Model S and Lucid Air. This is the Polestar Precept and the third car from Volvo's electric performance arm. For those of you out there that are curious, Merriam-Webster defines precept as a command or principle intended especially as a general rule of action. So yeah, it looks like all Polestars, which is to say modern and good. Polestar is under the Volvo Geely umbrella, so the new EV will be built in China. As with the Polestar 2, the interior will be made of sustainable materials like recycled plastic bottles, reclaimed fishing nets, and recycled cork vinyl. So what will it cost? What will the range be? Who knows? Coming up, we look at some of the best hatches that you can get for under $10,000. But first.
Wow.
The hot hatch follows a classic formula. Take an economy hatchback intended to move people around cheaply and efficiently, and then give it more power and more suspension until you can't stop smiling when you drive it. There have been many hot hatches throughout the years, and they represent a fun and affordable way to get into classic performance cars. And our very own Andrew Newton fired up Hagerty's valuation tool to take a look at 5 different hot hatch deals, all for under $10,000. First up, the Honda CRXSI. It debuted in 1988 as the hatchy twin of the Honda Civic and offered a double wishbone suspension at all 4 corners and a peppy 1.6-liter 4-cylinder with multi-port fuel injection. I mean, that's good enough for 108 horsepower, which isn't blistering speed, but it should feel fast in a car that weighs as much as an Olsen twin. A good condition one should set you back about $7,200. If you're feeling a little more schnitzel than sushi, may we suggest the Mk2 Volkswagen Golf. This little German runabout debuted in 1984, but the one you want is the 1987 or later, which gets a 16-valve motor putting out a not too shabby 140 horsepower. So just blast some David Hasselhoff, and you can pretend that any road is the Autobahn. Plus, a number 3 good condition car is currently valued at Hagerty at just about $5,600, which is cheap for what you get. And finally, if you've ever dreamt of living a life of crime with Vin Diesel, you can get the fruit of Chrysler's liaison with Mitsubishi, the second generation Eagle Talon. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Why not get the Mitsubishi Eclipse? Isn't it the better one? No, it's not. To quote the Doobie Brothers classic, that's what a fool believes. And the writers clearly know I owned a Mitsubishi Eclipse, but anyways, I mean, no hard feelings. And this little hot hatch in full TSI all-wheel drive trim gets Mitsubishi's 4G63T 2-liter Turbo 4. With 210 horsepower, it's the hottest of our hatches, and yet only $7,100 for a good one. What a steal! For more, check out the link below or go to Hagerty.com/media. That's it for me today. Tiffany's back tomorrow. Stay classy, San Diego. Just kidding. Stay safe and keep driving.